He will always seek to make the most of the short run, no matter what. And he'll go in a fury, desperation. Often explains why enemy attacks often says the enemy comes in like a flood. Job in the Bible, we know that the enemy was attacking Job. And how did he do it? Like a flood. Messenger comes in, says his servants killed. While speaking, another comes in, says fire came down, burned up the sheep. Another comes in, there's another attack, the camels are gone. Another comes in, there's your sons and daughter were feasting, a wind swept, the house came down. Now, when this happens, you know it's going to be a bad day, but it's a sign of the enemy. Every time we were going to move into a new building, hell broke loose. Every time we were going to make a big move, hell broke loose. When we were at the very beginning in the rotunda in the Church of the Nazarene, and I announced that we were going to be moving, as soon as I did, and we were going to have no place, we were going to be on the road. We had to find a new place, and God did a miracle, got us to our first building. But when I announced it, a guy flings back in the front row, flings back and goes into a seizure. Disrupts what I had to tell everybody to stay calm and to go. We're going to go on the road. Just went crazy. People, some guy comes up, is casting out an enemy, the demon from another one. Nurse is casting out the guy who's casting it out, and they're going crazy. And I was saying, what? And this was, I remember it was a Hanukkah, it was a holiday thing. And I was, oh man, I went, and then there were new people, there for the first time. And I told them after, I said, they said, you know what? Said, we've never seen the power of the enemy or the power of God so powerful as here. I said, okay, I guess that's good. And then in the second building, when we had to make the announcement that we are now we have to go to find a new place, and we're going to go on the road and all that. The day I made the announcement, as I'm making it, guy falls down. Seizure. A second person goes down, seizure. A third person goes down in the bathroom. There was not one, there were several ambulances at our building that night. And they couldn't believe they were being called to the same place. But the people who were there for the first time, they said, oh, it's that again. When I said yes to going to India, oh, hell broke loose. That weekend, to craziness. One person there were some imbalanced people, and they started making an accusation. Another one made the same accusation, didn't even know the other one. One said they got it from the Spirit, crazy stuff. And then everything went crazy when, as we're getting ready to go, the tickets all disappear. With the travel agents in Spain, and our money's gone. And then we went to the airport with no tickets, and then on the second plane going to India, I look out the window and I said, this is very interesting because there are pieces of the engine are flying off. And they had to land the plane again back down. And by like the third day in India, we had almost been killed in a car crash, and all hell was coming against us. But because at the end we would see about 70,000 people give their lives to the Lord, because that's what that's about. Every time something moved forward on the Harbinger, every time there was a flood. If you remember, there was a season, for those who were there at that time, a season when there were several floods that cut off the street. Cut off our services. It happened every time when something happened moving ahead with the Harbinger. And finally, when the Harbinger came out, it was more than just the street. Hurricane Irene came and swept 3 to 4 feet of water throughout this whole building. And we had no place for 2 months. It was a miracle that we got back. But it happened literally, the enemy came in like a flood. That's how the enemy does it. But it's so important in your life, he'll try to overwhelm you. He'll try to have one thing after the other or just get you overwhelmed. What's going to happen? You panic. Hold on. Because it might be furious, but it's not going to be forever. Evil is cold-blooded, cannot last. Might be a day. Might be months, might even be a government, might be decades, but it's going to pass. Even something like the Soviet Union could not go on forever. Don't despair. Don't get discouraged. Understand that it's coming. You belong to the end. You belong to the finish line. The fight may be a fight, but you belong to the finish line. And that finish line is guaranteed winning for you. But you got to hold on.
To find out how you can receive more of Jonathan's teachings, to receive special free gifts, or get in touch, go to hopeoftheworld.org or call toll-free 1-800-YESHUA-1. That's hopeoftheworld.org or call 1-800-YESHUA-1. That's 1-800-937-4821. You can also get more at Jonathan Cahn's Facebook page or write us direct at Hope of the World, Box 1111, Lodi, New Jersey 07644, USA. Hope of the World is dedicated to the goal of spreading God's Word and salvation to every land and people. We do this by spreading the Word throughout the world and sponsoring compassion projects to the most poor and needy around the earth. To get in touch or have a part in God's work, just write to Hope of the World, Box 1111, Lodi, New Jersey 07644, USA. Or go to hopeoftheworld.org or call 1-800-YESHUA-1. That's 1-800-937-4821.